while defending his budget. And he has said to me as soon as possible, before the end of this sitting, he will circulate the full answer in writing. Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I will ask you to open your books, page 55, under Disaster Preparedness, Response, and Management. Increasing the cash grant. At 6294, order. Recall we had a discussion on the 72,620,000,000, and I want to offer the right disaggregation of that figure. Support to the government of Guyana cash grant, and everybody know the cash grant is $100,000 per person, 18 years and above. Support for the cash grants, that includes the actual payment of the cash grant and the administration of that payout, $63,500,000,000. Secondly, support to cost of living initiatives, $9 billion. Expenditure of CDC, $120 million. And that is the disaggregation of the total that you see there, $72,620,000,000. And that will be circulated before the end of today's session, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable members.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Honorable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Considering that explanation, am I allowed, with your gracious permission, to just ask the Prime Minister, they disaggregated the 63 billion, how much is for administration and how much is for the actual cash grant? Just the disaggregated.
I will allow. Honorable Prime Minister, if you have that.
Mr. Chairman, the answer, 62,500,000,000 for the actual cash grant and 1 billion for the administration of the payout.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister. Honorable members, let us invite the staff of the Honorable Great Bishop Juan Edgehill to join him in the well.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your kind words. But I think, Mr. Chairman, since we're in committee, we also have something that we all could be very proud of. You know, West Indies has just won the match. And the former player, now commentator, Hasir Hussein, said something that's very interesting. Guyanese are powering the West Indies in this tournament. And I think that's very instructive of where Guyana is today, sir. I think we have some 6 players on the team, and West Indies is getting back to her glory days, but I think Guyanese are powering the West Indies at this time. It's a bright spot for Guyana that we all should be very proud of, sir.
Great Bishop, I was going to make mention that we congratulate the West Indies team on their 2 victories.
I don't think you would ever want to miss that opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
And especially for these last 2 games, and for a little while, I was going to say that Guyanese formed the backbone of this T20 team.
So it's because of the cash grant.
Honorable members, the Honorable Minister is in place. His team is with him, and I will start his time running at 2:13. We have 1 hour to consider this agency. So let us turn to pages 174 and 175. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 31, Ministry of Public Works, Program 311, Policy Development and Administration, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Saiku Andrews.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Line item 6321 for 1,498,784. Mr. Chair, when I look at this line item, subsidies to local organizations, I notice that there's a zero allocation for the Berbice Bridge. My question to the Honorable Minister is, can you explain, having toll-free crossing, how is it that this year there's no allocation for the Berbice Bridge?
Honorable Bishop.
Mr. Chair, thank you, and thank you to the honorable member for the question. The honorable member would be reminded that the government of Guyana announced toll-free crossing at all bridges as of August 1st, 2025. It means that the government of Guyana would have to absorb that cost to ensure that the bridges continue to operate and the staff are paid. There are 3 bridges that were affected by that policy decision: the Demerara River Bridge, and I should say the 3 bridges in Linden, which would include the one that was tolled, the Mackenzie-Wisma Bridge, and the Berbice Bridge. In last year's allocations, there were monies that were appropriated to take care of that activity. And as a result, those bridges were compensated based upon their monthly operational expenses in a formula that was worked out. The honorable member is concerned that in this line item, subsidies to the bridge, it's 0. And I'm not sure he has thoroughly examined his entire estimates to find out where and how. But I can indicate to you at this particular time, there is a movement in the direction of the government of Guyana acquiring the Berbice Bridge.
Thank you, Minister.
Just-
Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
Just to follow on, so there's a movement in that direction, fair enough. But what is happening here is that you said I did not properly thoroughly examine the estimates, but it'll take us to someplace else, which is maintenance of bridges. I'm hoping that it's under there, but I'm not sure if the speaker would allow me to continue this line of questioning.
Honorable member, the
Well-
item has zero. For me, as a first-time MP and first-time the estimates, I allowed a little
No problem.
latitude.
Thank you, sir.
But I'm confident that the minister will tell us where those monies will come from in order
Well-
to ensure that.
Well, Mr. Speaker, he
But
did
if there is
open.
no allocation here, technically we can't prosecute.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
So when we
Honorable
come,
member,
when we
Mr.
come to the other program, he will be free
Yes.
to ask his questions.
Honorable member, Mr. Manza Walton Desir.
Mr. Speaker, and again, I'm not sure if you'll allow it, given what you just said, but it comes off of what Bishop Edgell just mentioned, that there moves afoot to acquire the bridge. I'm wondering whether the Honorable Minister could tell us exactly where are those negotiations? Is this an initial thought that they're having? Are there negotiations to do this advance? Where exactly are we in terms of that idea that the government has?
Let us wait until we hear from the minister for the law. Right? Okay. Honorable member, Mr. Matthew Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the same line item for the statutory body Transport and Harbors Department. Sir, on the maintenance of infrastructure, sorry, not maintenance of infrastructure, fuel and lubricant. This is, can the Honorable Bishop guide us in terms of this $1.5 billion? If this caters for fuel for the vessels that are plying the Essequibo River, the two Chinese boat, Malali and the others, and the Hercules, the MV Hercules. My interest is more in the MV Hercules, sir.
Honorable Minister,
Mrs. Chairman, the honorable member is aware that the Transport and Harbors Department subsidizes or is subsidized by the government of Guyana. It has been like that for a very, very long time. If we were to charge the real fares, it would have been more costly for commuters. So the subsidy comes in the area of fuel. So to that, it is in the affirmative. But if you specifically want something on the Hercules, could you please inquire, because you want something specifically in the Hercules?
Yes, sir. May I ask the Honorable Minister, what is the fuel cost that is associated directly with the MV Hercules? And I can understand, sir, that it will fluctuate based on the amount of trips, but given that we have had the boat for a year or more, I'm guessing an estimated cost can be given.
Well, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayapol asked the question, he answered it himself. So I don't know if I
The
should
sum,
proceed
the
with
sum,
it.
sir, the sum cost.
He asked about the amount of fuel the Hercules is using, and the answer is depending on the amount of trips.
So may I ask for last year usage, if the Honorable Minister can tell us how much money was used for fuel consumption of the MV Hercules?
I'm a little bit reluctant to examine monies in last year because we're dealing with this year. And for me, I would allow if you ask him, what is a good estimate based on what you spent last year?
Thank you, sir. What is a good estimate based on what you spent last year for this year's expenditure on fuel and lubricant for the MV Hercules?
Mr. Chair, the Transport and Harbors Department is the owner of several vessels, most of them aged, and we're now restocking with newer vessels. And based upon what we see in terms of the information is available, whether it's the Hercules or the Sabanto, the Canoan, or whatever. There is no disparity in the consumption of fuel depending on the size of engine and the trips that they are making. So the Hercules fuel consumption is not a liability to the transport of harvest because of its excessive fuel consumption. That does not exist. We don't see that. So if that is where the concern lies, I could assure you that in the management of the affairs of the Transport and Harvest Department, we are looking at our engines. So we got boats that are doing longer journeys, like the MV Militia that goes out to the northwest. Of course, they will burn more fuel, but you're looking at distance and time. You have boats that go down to Bartica. You have the boats that go all the way into Port Kaituma, the Berima, the Kimbia. So that is being managed. There is no excessive movement. But if you want an exact amount of how much liters went into the Hercules for all the trips that it made for 2025, those are numbers that are in the accounting records of the Transport and Harvest Department. And I can tell you, the Hercules burned $73,471,200 worth of fuel for 2025 in that area.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, may I ask the Honorable Minister, reference to wages and salary, how much from this allocated sum is catered for the staff that operate the MV Hercules, the captain, the sailor, and the total amount of staff reference to this specific boat, the MV Hercules?
Mr. Chairman, none of the government subsidy is used for the payment of staff. In 2020, when I assumed the office as Minister of Public Works, this House would recall that the Transport and Harvest Department was in shambles where salaries was concerned. They did not pay PAYE for the workers. They did not pay NIS for the workers. They did not even pay the union dues to the unions to the workers. We have since been able to turn around this entity. We are up to date with our PAYE. We are up to date with NIS. We are up to date with our union dues. And we continue to pay staff in a timely manner every month for all the vessels that are operated in this fleet.
Sir, thank you. May I ask a follow-up?
May I ask you to give way to the Honorable Swetnam, because we only have an hour on this head. And she is in my blind spots, so she had her mic on for a little while.
Thank you, sir. Can I
Okay,
come back
give you
with
one more. Give you
the follow-up? Thank you. The one follow-up, sir. The captain for MV Hercules and the other staff for MV or Hercules, are they staff members of the Ministry of Public Works, Transport and Harvest Department?
They are contracted in an operation arrangement with the Transport and Harvest Department. There's a contract for the operations of the MV Hercules.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
The staff of the Transport and Harvest Department are on the establishment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Ms. Swetnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question pertains to line items 6281 and 6302. And please allow me, seeing I'm in your blind spot, to just ask the questions for these two line items. For line item 6281, can the Honorable Minister please clarify the reason for the increase in security services for almost 13 million? And if he's at liberty to disclose who the contracts are awarded to?
Mr. Chair, it's a $13 million increase. And this is in keeping with rates. There are salaries that have been increased, and it has to do with billings. All that has happened is that salaries have gone up.
And the follow-up,
Go ahead,
is the
Honorable
minister
Minister.
at liberty to disclose who are the firms?
We have several. We have the Special Constabulary Force. We have Elite. We have RK and Sheriff Security.
Thank you. And for line item 6302, can the honorable minister please state the nature of the training to be done, the target audience, and the intended output and impact of the training?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, I would have appreciated if the honorable member would have said, would this be sufficient to do training? The Ministry of Public Works is a highly skill-intensive ministry. Engineers, technicians, project management people, and we have to keep people at the cutting edge, dealing with new technologies and being up to date with all that is happening. So we are basically here just dealing with our people, whether it's in the audit department, bringing upskilling, and dealing with the various technologies. This is a wide range, management and everything else.
Mr. Chair, if I
Go
look
ahead.
at the performance development statements here, it does show that in 2025 that the projected number of persons to be trained, the targets were not met, and only 90% of the expected outputs were completed, hence the reason for my question on the training.
But Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
if anyone sits in the seat of management and you accomplish 90% of training while keeping your operations continuing, that's a very, very successful year. Because a lot of times you can have training planned and people to send on training, but you have national development priorities that some of the very same people who have to go on training have to address. A number of my senior officers here were supposed to go overseas to training. Cabinet papers prepared, financing available, but because of national development priorities, they were not able to go. We want them to go, but we have to be able to manage with that. So 90% is a good score.
Thank you, Minister.
Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you very much for your kind consideration, sir. Sir, if I may take back the Honorable Minister to the MV Hercules. The Minister was kind enough to say that there's a contracted arrangement between the Transport and Harbors Department and a contractor for the operation of the MV Hercules. May I ask the Honorable Minister, what is the contracted sum that is for the MV Hercules, and if it's monthly or by trip?
Honorable Minister.
Yes, sir. The Hercules, which is a tugboat that we bought, of which Mr. Maipal is very well familiar with, was a boat that we had to bring into operation to ensure that Mr. Mahaipal did not come to this house to complain about the lack of service for the people of Region 2 and Region 3 and Wakenham and Legwan.
And the boat went down 4 months.
We were having a greater demand than the capacity of Transport and Harbors. You would have heard that when we launched the boat, the MV Kawanaruk 1899, we spoke about the large tonnage that we moved, the amount of vehicles, the amount of passengers. And in the first instance, when the MV Hercules was taken on board, it was operated by the Transport and Harbors Department staff. We had some challenges, and as a way of ensuring that we did not have a real crisis. The people who were more familiar with the engines and the generators and the operators were engaged to operate the boat. And that works out to be about 400,000 or thereabout per day
Thank
for the
you.
operation of the boat.
Honorable Member, Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mahipal.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask the Honorable Minister the name of the contracting firm that we have engaged with to provide this service?
Marine Inc.
Marine Inc. May I ask, Mr. Chairman, is this not the same company that we bought this boat from?
As Mr. Mahipal is aware, the answer is yes.
And may I ask the Honorable Minister, I didn't think the question was answered the last time, if he can provide us with the sum of money, because the purchase date wasn't concluded the last time we examined this.
What
Honorable
wasn't
Minister,
concluded?
we are now entering into an area which I have to provide some guidance to the Honorable Member. So we have to reflect price of that vessel in this, right? So the sums before us, the minister could be asked questions to defend that and policy, right? If there are issue, is that the same boat we bought? I don't know where we're going. So let us come back to this. It's unfair to everybody else who has questions on 6 other heads for us to go down that road. We're already in the hour. We started at 2:13. We're at 2:34. 21 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just your guidance. Sir, I did open the question on the allocated sum, and based on the answers the Honorable Bishop is providing, it's for me, and your guidance is necessary, the follow-up from what he has indicated. And he indicated, sir, that there's a contracted sum of 400,000 for the company, Marine Inc. and Transport and Harbors. He also indicated that it's the same company we bought the boat from that we have already
As in response to
contracted.
that question you asked.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah, so you're going down the wrong road.
so may I have one other follow-up, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, I just want to know what is the sum that we purchased the boat for?
Not included in this, but if you want to answer, Honorable Minister, please, you can.
Mr. Chair, I answered that question last year.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, I did.
The transaction wasn't completed, sir. That's
Thank
what
you
he
very much,
indicated.
Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 31. Honorable Member Mr. Mahipal, you have a very, very good manner after you finish your prosecution and other people speaking, you still carry on a conversation. But good. You're finished when I recognize someone else or when I'm ready to put the question. Honorable members, I put the question that the sum stated for Agency 31, Program 311, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 526. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 31, Program 311, Capital, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Psycho Andrews.
Mr. Chair, government office complex. So I noticed that the entire project amounts to $19.6 billion. Guyana Green Builders was awarded a contract for $15.5 billion. My question to the Honorable Minister, and so far, inclusive of the 2026 allocation, we would probably run into a disbursement of $16.6 billion. If I pit that against the contract, that's over the contract sum. So my question to the Honorable Minister is, can he explain the difference between the contract and the total sum of the project? And also, if the amount that is disbursed as of 2026, inclusive of the 2026 allocation, if all went to Caribbean Green Builders?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, I will guide the honorable member in understanding that this contract has a sum. There's a supervisory contract that is not part of this contract sum.
Mr. Chair, it says here, provision includes provision for office complex. There is no indication in this sum anything for supervisory services. So my question is, the project is 19 plus billion. Caribbean Builders were awarded a contract for 15.8 billion. Inclusive of the 2026 allocation, it comes up to 16.6 billion. I'm trying to get an understanding of the difference. One, the difference between the 19 billion, which is the project sum, and the contract awarded, and also the amounts that are disbursed, which is over the contract amount. Is this $16.6 billion going to Caribbean Builders? And if yes, can you explain?
Honorable Minister.
You should try that elsewhere.
Honorable
Mr. Andrews,
Yes,
the
sir.
contract sum remains 15 point whatever billion. Any difference is for the supervisory consultancy overseeing the same project. It's two different contracts. It's the same operation, two different contracts. You have Caribbean Green Builders, there's a construction, there's a design build. Then you have a supervisory firm that is overseeing, which is the FIDIC engineer.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question.
I have a
Go ahead, Honorable.
And besides that, in this sum, 1.5 billion is for other projects on government buildings, capital buildings that are happening around. So all of this is not Caribbean Green Builders.
Thank you, sir. Maybe I should have asked you to disaggregate, and
Yes.
maybe we could have gotten it.
Yes.
But in moving forward, this very project, there is a provision for a helipad.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to, if the minister would be so kind to explain to us what justifies the need for a helipad. Is it that the office of the president will be moved to that building? Is it the office of the prime minister, those high-ranking government officials? Why would we need a helipad? Just for clarification, sir.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This office complex, 4 towers, 12 stories, will house 6,000 government workers. It will see the coming together of several ministries. I know the Ministry of Public Works will be there. I don't know if the Office of the Prime Minister plans to come, but the Ministry of Public Works will be there, and other agencies that fall under the Ministry of Public Works. It will have the capacity for 6,000. With 6,000 people being present, parking, emergency evacuation, standby power for utilities. This would carry with it its own well, its own, to provide water for a certain amount of days, electricity in case there is a fallback. It's a city that you're putting in place, a mini city that you're putting in place. So you would like it when it's done, and I'm sure you'd enjoy the services that come out of there. That will be close to you anyhow.
I must say, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead,
that the
Honorable.
building looks very pretty. But the question here is the justification of the helipad. In Georgetown, we have hundreds of thousands of people living in the city. And with all of the monies we're spending on four-lane roads, I'm very hard pressed to understand the need for a helipad for emergency evacuation. What happens to all of the other hundreds of thousands of persons when they need emergency? Do they fly with their cars? They're using the same four-lane roads that we've invested in. So it's a substantial amount, I'm sure, that is going to that. So I just need for the
There is
public
no substantial amount that is going into a helipad, sir.
You don't?
There is no substantial
I'm
amount
aware,
that is going into a helipad.
because what you may
Why
call-
did we build the office of the president at Vicinton Road with a helipad on the top?
That's the office of the president.
The office of the president at Vicinton Road, which was built many, many years ago, before modernization as we have it now,
Yes.
had a helipad there.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, I think we have an answer from the minister. The standing orders don't say that the minister has to give questioners the answers they want to hear. He has to justify his expenditure. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 31, Program 311, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Let us turn to pages 176 and 177. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 31, Program 312, Public Works, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Saiku Andrews.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So at line item 6252, I noticed the significant increase in this allocation for maintenance of bridges. Can the minister confirm, can the honorable member confirm, or can the honorable member say, what is the major bridge that has allowed this sum to climb to this amount for maintenance purposes?
Honorable Minister.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The honorable member is now in the area where he's trying to find out what is the major bridge that is to be maintained. So, under this line item is where the monies have been appropriated for the payment of the tolls for the bridges that have to be paid. And this sum that is appropriated and the operational expenses. For example, all the staff from the Mackenzie-Wisma Bridge is now in the employ of the Ministry of Public Works. And the full maintenance of all three bridges in Linden is now with the Ministry of Public Works. All the staff from the Demerara Harbor Bridge is now with the Ministry of Public Works. And if you would have studied your documents carefully, and I see that you've been doing some reading, you will realize that some of this is moving towards moving the bridge to the locations that have been publicly announced, and it has to be operated and maintained. And with the Berbice River Bridge, we have to pay the tolls up to a particular time by which we hope all the negotiations will be completed and it becomes the property of the Ministry of Public Works, Government of Guyana Ministry of Public Works, and the Ministry of Public Works would have to maintain everything at the Berbice River Bridge as well. So that is why we have this sum that is here.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Chair, so last year, this was under subsidies. This year it's under maintenance. At face value, you assume that if we're going to take on maintenance of the Berbice Bridge, it means that we will own the Berbice Bridge. Can the minister say how far along are these negotiations for us to acquire this asset? One, and in acquiring this asset, what is the ballpark figure we expect? Because my knowledge says that the contract, the concession agreement is supposed to come to an end in 2027. So if we're going to negotiate to own this asset, what is the ballpark figure that we anticipate we are willing to pay 1 year in advance for this project, for this asset?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, at this particular time, the reason why the money is on the maintenance of bridges, because this money will not be handed to a company. This money will be with the ministry that will have to operate the bridge. So that's why it's properly placed here. The Berbice Bridge, and I don't want to use this opportunity to make announcements. I want to use this opportunity to inform the House that the government of Guyana is on its way, finalizing all the I's and dotting all the T's for the ownership of the Berbice River Bridge. And based upon the figures that I've been looking at, what it will be costing the Treasury for the acquisition of the bridge would be less than if we had to pay tolls between now and next year, based upon the figures that I'm looking at. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable
That's all I would say
Minister.
for now.
Honorable Member, Ms. Swetnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6302. I have a very special interest in training as we need personnel that are up to par. Can the Honorable Minister please state the nature of the training to be associated with this sum and who are the target audience?
Honorable Minister.
Engineering training, project management, especially
This
occupational health and safety.
deal with things like occupational health and safety, project management, human resource management, general equipping staff in the various departments that fall under this program to ensure that at all material times we are at the cutting edge and we are seriously being able to execute our task.
So am I hearing you clearly? This is intended for your staff members?
Yes, it's only for staff members.
Okay, look, Ms. Swetnam is here. I see you looking around.
I don't see where they.
Right here. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Right here.
Yes.
Yes.
All the training, whether in program 1, program 2, specifically staff. The ministers don't go and train. The ministers attend conferences and meetings, not training.
And remove cars off the road too. Thank you.
That requires some Honorable Member,
Yes.
Mr. Qs Sharma.
Thank you very much, Comrade. Mr. Chair, just to the Honorable Minister on the matter of the bridges that we spoke about. The Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge, which falls under the Bridge Act, there is a relationship of revenue sharing between the government and the municipality. Just for some clarity from the minister, I know that it is good to see provisions in place for those staff, but is there any consideration for the act which provides for that relationship of remitting revenues, which is now going to be taken away, or free toll? What becomes of that arrangement for the revenue sharing within that provision of the Act 5104?
Mr. Chair, the honorable members asked a very interesting question, and if he wants me to spend the rest of the hour on this, we can go ahead. This bridge, the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge that he's talking about, it falls under the Bridge Act. And there was supposed to be a certain amount of expenditure that goes to the mayor and Town Council of Linden, is a bridge that had to be funded wholly for its operations and maintained by NISIL. Totally by NISIL. When they were unable to fix this bridge, NISIL had to step in and fix the bridge. NISIL paid the staff. Not one square meter of board or one rod of iron was ever provided by the main town council of this bridge. So the gentleman who served as mayor of Linden ought to have known that as well. But what was happening is that they were getting a percentage going to the council for social services and all the rest of it. And if I channel the honorable member to tell the House how much of that money that was given to the main town council was spent on social services, the answer would be zero. And we will also have to have a discussion on the toll that is being charged every truck that is going into Linden, and they have not repaired 1 meter of road in the township. We'll also have to have that conversation.
Thank you.
As far as I know, the government of Guyana will honor whatever were the obligations that NISIL was undertaking in terms of cash. The government of Guyana will make that money available to NISIL. NISIL and the main town council will work out their issues from there. But I thought I'll also be able to put that in perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That
Minister,
we will be
go ahead,
having our
honorable member.
remittance. Yeah, I won't want that.
Honorable members,
Won't want
I
that.
now put a question. There is sum stated for Agency 31, Program 312, current expenditure. Stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Can we turn to pages 526 and 527? Stated for Agency 31, Program 312 stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Saiko Andrew.
Mr. Chair, project code 1404000, provision for road, provision for bridges and payment of retention order, reference 109. There's a provision for construction of the Berbice and Quarantine River bridges. My question to the honorable minister is, what sum specifically is allocated to the Berbice River Bridge? And what would it be used for?
Honorable Minister.
I will direct the gentleman back to his project code, and he will see that under a line item specific refers to foreign funding. Local is what comes from the consolidated fund. And you will see a sum there under specific, and that would have to do with expenditure anticipated in relation to the Berbice River Bridge for 2026.
Thank you very much.
Honorable member, Dr. Richards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have one question for the Honorable Minister of Public Works under Project Code 1240-900, Infrastructural Development. My question is there any consideration for the potential pavement of the Linden to Kokwani road corridor in this allocation?
What project code you said?
1240-900, Infrastructural Development.
1214-900. That would not be under this project, sir.
It wouldn't be.
Wrong account you're looking at.
Okay, for a follow-up, is there any consideration for the pavement of that road corridor, sir?
Which road corridor?
Yes, Linden to Kokwani Road Corridor. I noticed there's some work started from the Linden sector going into the mines, but for the entire corridor.
Mr. Chair, I'll answer the honorable member by letting him know that there are different categories of roads that exist in our country. We have what is called hinterland roads, fair weather roads. The entire stretch from Linden to Lethem was a fair weather road. Government, because of its connectivity agenda with South America and the movement in terms of opening up Guyana for business, have moved that road from a fair weather road. We've started the first lot into asphaltic concrete. We are building a road from Oriala to Kokwani, which is going to be completed the last 20 kilometers this year. That's a fair weather road. Kokwani to Aichuni has always been what is called a mining road. We are now upgrading that mining road to ensure it could come to a state to deal with the traffic, and more particularly with the smaller vehicles because of the population in the area. We have not reached that stage yet of going into what will be called an asphaltic concrete road of a similar nature like what is happening now at Linden to Mabura. We're not there yet.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Ms. Swetnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 1903400, Ghana Restoration Project. Can the Honorable Minister please highlight some of the areas earmarked for this project? Or if he's willing to lay over the document?
Honorable Minister.
There'll be no need to lay over. You will
Thank
see
you.
that the amounts allocated has been the same for several years.
I just need a couple of the areas, sir.
Yes. This caters for 170 staff that operates in several different communities that help to maintain road shoulders, that help to maintain community centers, government office complexes. It includes the purchase of their tools, their twine for their brush cutter, or the string, sometimes they call it, and all the rest of it.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Follow up. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, 1601,000 stellings. They allocated some there, $2,740,712,000. Can the Honorable Minister please disaggregate the figure and say what is the sum associated with the work expected to be done at Parika Stelling and the work expected to be done at the Supernam Stelling?
Honorable Minister.
Sure, Mr. Chair, the honorable member will be aware that the Parika, what we call the Parika Stelling, is being built into what will be soon known as the Parika Port and Terminal. We have designated monies in this year budget. $68 million will be for yes. We got $68 million that will be for the designs. We have 3 lots Lot 1, Lot 2, and Lot 3 that is already ongoing at Parika. Lot 4 will be approximately $300 million. We have to deal with the access roads and the parking apron out there at Parika. There's going to be about 110 million. And the putting in of the vehicular scales and approximately 120 million. The administrative building and waiting area and marshalling shelter, 150 million. So about 700 plus million would be spent at Parika in 2026 and about $500 million at Supernam. Supernam is becoming a hotspot, and the people of Essequibo are very pleased with the level of connectivity that they're enjoying, but the facilities there are aging, and we have to get the catwalk fixed. As a matter of fact, I think, Mr. Chairman, there will be 2 days of this week, Thursday and Friday of this week, Friday and Saturday of this week, when we will not be able to operate the roll-on ferries. We'll only be able to do side boarding, and those are 2 days that we have to take out to repair the Lingspan Bridge that is damaged. So we have to be able to get things done there. We want to expand the northern section of the ferry docking terminal and the general upgrade of what we are doing at Supernam, and you will see those designs. So it is divided with just about $720 plus million Parika to continue what is already started, and Supernam about $500 million. That's where we are.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I engage the Honorable Minister on Project Code 2700500, reference reconditioning of ferry vessels. There's a sum here of $570 million. And under the description, it tells us the project entails provision for vessels and spares. May I ask the Honorable Minister if we're purchasing a new vessel or more than one vessels, and if so, where will these vessels be plying?
Honorable Minister.
Reconditioning of ferry vessels don't include purchasing vessels. This is about docking and spares for the maintenance of the vessels.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member,
Thank
Mr.
you, Mr.
Mahipal,
Chairman.
I see time running, and
Thank you, Chair.
the leader up in the House had his mic on. So he's passing. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Ms. Williams.
Me, Mr. Speaker.
Don?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to turn our attention to Project Code 1405200, Hinterland Roads. At a glance of this budget, I see a summary of $10 billion allocated for the Hinterland Roads. Can the Honorable Minister be kind enough to say to us, or to give us a breakdown of how much of this will be spent on completion of roads, how much will be spent on the construction of new roads, and how much will be spent on rehabilitation?
Honorable Minister.
So we have roads that are currently under construction. The Honorable Member is fully aware of that. So from this amount, to complete those that have already been engaged in a multi-year project for 2025-2026, the rollover sums will, for roads in regions 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10, will be $3.15 billion. In terms of new roads, whether it's regions 1, region 6, which would include the Oriala waterfront and bridge, and 1 kilometer of rigid pavement road in the Oriala area. In region 7, in key corridors that we have to do work. Barjikopataru Road, miles 2 to 3, we're doing 1 kilometer of rigid pavement concrete. 5 miles housing scheme, another 2 kilometers of rigid pavement concrete. Mora Camp, another kilometer of asphaltic roads. Rehabilitation of Dock Point Main Access Road, 900 meters of concrete road. A total of 235 projects spanning 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the new works that we're talking about, the amount will be 6,489,849,716,000. But there were 235 projects spread between 1, 7, 8, 9, and I told you about the 10, Oriala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, Honorable
Mr. Chair,
Member, Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Chair,
Honorable Member, Ms. Dawn Hastings Williams, you had a follow-up?
Yes, thank
Okay,
Thank you
Mr.
for
Andrews,
that,
just hold that. Let's take her first.
Thank you, Minister. Taking into consideration, especially these roads in remote areas, in our remote hinterland, and we have, in terms of their logistics, their terrain, weather, and all these things, what risk mitigation or strategies has the ministry adopted to prevent like cost overruns and delays? We had an experience with like Perima airstrip, so I'm asking what strategies do you have in place in case of...
Well, I can tell you what we have to deal with. The reality, I don't know about cost overruns. We're dealing with delays. And delays is basically because of rain. But the government's policy that is driving hinterland development have seen simultaneous implementation of projects and of a high quality. Because what we are doing, government is providing the materials in many of these projects, and we are hiring the labor from the communities, bringing economic advancement in those communities and training new people with new skills. I mean, a lot of these concrete roads, 60, 70 persons in the community are working on them, and we're doing several at the same time. The challenges that we would have had is rain. We have been able, like for example in Madhya, when we had challenges with stone, we went out and stockpiled the stone in Madhya to ensure that we could execute. Region 1, there's a consideration of a similar nature. But if there's anything that every member of this National Assembly should be proud of, and we should reduce our anxiety for criticism because it has a very serious consequence, is the level of participation and development that is coming to hinterland communities. In a lot of these communities, people have said things like, why are you building the road here? And you start so. The people said, let's build a road in the areas where the schools, the health center, the ICT hub, because of the dust issue. When some of the children went to the hot meals program, the dust was actually there. So we build the roads in the center, and then we're spreading out and going out to the ends. In the big villages in Region 9, where there's access to machinery to do asphalt, which is faster, we have been able to do that in several villages in Region 9 as well. So every member of this house who travel Guyana, the one thing we could be sure about is seeing the level of development in the hinterland and the participation of the people in that developmental process. And I think the Hinterland Roads Program is one of the programs that we should be very, very proud about, all of us in this National Assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I want to go back to 1,404,000. So we're going to back to the quarantine, the bridges. We are aware that Suriname, we have this issue with Suriname claiming ownership of the quarantine of the river, right? So my question to the minister is, with regards to the arrangement, how is this project going to be split? How is it going to be apportioned, the expenses? And when it comes to maintenance, how would it be apportioned? Revenue, and all of these things, and ownership stake. And given the fact that there's this dispute, which country's law would take precedent over this project? Because we're pursuing this project, and these are some of the things that we need to know. What is going to be our ownership stake? What is going to be our contribution? What is going to be Surinam's? Who's going to, all of these things. Can you, in a nutshell, give us a understanding of what is going on with those issues?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, there is no allocation for the Quarantine River Bridge under this code that the gentleman is, and I would offer to him, we could have that discussion on a television program or at another forum, because I can say as the Minister of Public Works that I've advanced the project with the Surinamis. None of the issues that this distinguished gentleman has asked has ever arrived. We have gone together. Guyana and Suriname has gone together. We have got the consultancy for the design. We went together. We have evaluated. We have a preferred contractor. We have gone together. They have, none of the issues that the distinguished gentleman arose has ever been an issue that is on the table when it comes to the Quarantine River Bridge between Guyana and Suriname. So I will not venture into that way.
I would just...
Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews, we have the Honorable Chief Whip. With her mic on, we have the Honorable Member, Mr. Lacruz.
Mr. Speaker, just, would you permit me?
We have zero here, so it's hard for me to permit you.
Mr. Speaker, okay. Go ahead.
Time is
Go ahead,
not
Chief.
up. I really appreciate all the good people who are keeping time with me, because we have 8 minutes saved from yesterday, so that is carried over. So we have 2:13 and 8. We can go as far as 2:21 on this head. Honorable Member, Chief Whip for the opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister,
321, sorry.
I'm looking at line item 140, 4900. I'm vacillating between that and 140, 4200, where it's obvious now that they've started work on the Dennis Street. It appears as though they're going to be doing some rehabilitation work there. I'm trying to find out if that is on the 140, 4900.
Dennis Street.
Honorable Member, the answer is yes, and they have not just started work on Dennis Street. We are completing the work on Dennis Street. This Dennis Street and Duncan Street and Francois Avenue are arteries for connections between Sheriff Street and the extended Conversation Tree Road that we are moving to complete from Dennis Street to Francois Avenue, 4 lanes. So we had to upgrade Garnett Street, Dennis Street, Duncan Street, and Francois Avenue, so we could get traffic coming out and in through those connectors. It's part of the integrated network.
Thank you, sir. Just to follow up on that, I recognize that they're trying to get a 4-lane on both sides of the canal on Dennis Street, if I'm accurate based on what I'm seeing.
Dennis Street heading back
to
east.
Yes.
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 Dennis Street heading back east will be 4 lanes.
Thank you.
2 lanes on where the normal Dennis Street Road is right now, and 2 lanes north of the canal.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my question on this is, given the fact that you're working on both sides of the road, and you're also doing work in B Field, and there's some work going on in some parts of Sophia. I'm looking at the traffic as you attempt, because of what normally comes out in the morning from that area. People coming from the East Coast normally use that route and Sophia. Whether there any system is being put in place as you go through that street, that people would be able to be facilitated elsewhere to get out of that catchment area in the mornings and coming back in the afternoon. You know, there's a lot of heavy traffic there right now.
Honorable Member, the choke point of the traffic on Dennis Street is where there's a two-lane bridge at Eastern Highway. That's the choke point. So the first thing the government of Ghana would have done is to start the project to make the four-lane bridge at Eastern Highway, which has started. In order for me to get that bridge moving a little faster, I will have to give some outages, because you will see the transmission lines and the distribution lines for the driving of the piles. So it's mixing development and minimizing inconvenience that has held us to where we are. We're working with GPL on that. So once we get that four-lane bridge completed at the Eastern Highway, the choke point is taken care of. You would have realized that where we have the Ramakrishna School at Milton Street, we just did a little geometric improvement to that bridge, and the traffic is now flowing there. And I think we should commend our engineers and our professionals that we have in the Ministry of Public Work, who is constantly looking at ways and means of improving the commute of our people. We have work going on in B Field, we have work going on in E Field. But now that we have work going on in B Field and in E Field, you can go straight through C Field, get back to the B Field, bridge over the blocker. You could come out at Aubrey Barker, or you can go all the way down to town. All the concrete roads, all the connectivity is already in place. And if there's a place that I've seen massive improvements of the road infrastructure, that place is Sophia in Georgetown.
Let us take the honorable member, Mr. Lucruz, and then we'll have to put all the remaining heads.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I have a question to ask on the line item 1405200, Hinterland Roads. Can the Honorable Minister say which road he intend to construct in Region 1? The new roads I'm talking about.
Honorable Minister.
Well, the honorable member will be pleased to know that the continuation of the linking of the road between Maruka and Quibana, that 26 kilometers of road, is one of the roads that you're interested in, and it will be completed.
Thank you, sir.
You will also be happy to know, because you live there, that the Rincon Road, which was causing some problem, are being done by the Ministry Special Project Unit with some of your own colleagues working on that project. So you would be happy to know that. We are continuing 1 kilometer of concrete road going up to Quibana, and we're doing 1 kilometer from Quibana coming out. And why is that? I hear a lot that was said in the debate about free, prior, and informed consent. The people who live in Quibana says, if you are coming like this, it can take forever to reach us. So work this side and work that side. And the government, as a faithful servant of the people, putting people first, have listened to the people, and we're working from both ends. And while we're working from both ends, we have put out 4 maintenance contracts to ensure that the section that is not being constructed is also maintained, and you'll be happy to know that the villages are part of the maintenance of those roads as well. So if you want to know what's happening in Region 1, and of course, Region 1 is not just Maruka, we have the Matakai sub-district, we have the Mabaruma sub-district, and we are continuing work in Matthews Ridge, in Port Kaituma. Arakaka has got their concrete road. Mabaruma is almost saturated. We got a couple, I heard some people calling the name of some hills that needs to be addressed. All of that is coming on board.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now have to put the question that the sum stated for Program 312 Capital in Agency 31, Program 313 Current and Capital, that these 3 sums now stand part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated for these 3 heads now stand part of the estimates. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and your staff. And you know I have a soft spot for the Special Projects Unit.
Mr. Chairman, please permit me to thank my technical team at the Ministry of Public Works and to also acknowledge and salute my cabinet colleague, the Honorable Manalal Ramaraj, for the support that he's been lending to me as the Minister of Public Works, and the entire work services group. Sometimes we only see the people on the street, but there are people who are in the designs, in the labs, who are doing the testing, the auditors to ensure quality control, to ensure that we deliver value for money, and also the indefatigable team of the Special Projects Unit that has been giving remarkable service to the people of Guyana, responding in the swiftest and soonest manners as emergencies arise. So please allow me as the Minister of Public Works to thank my team. And we are prepared to work with all members of this House on any issue that may be arise at any time in the national interest, while government pursues its national development priorities. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
As you open that, please, the railway embankment where Middleton Street is,
Yes.
you know, we need to expand that little, um, not the median, it's where we go over the railway track. It's breaking away from the edges almost one third from the western side.
The entire Milton Street.
No, but just do that piece because every morning you have a
Well,
bottleneck there.
We'll get it fixed for you by tomorrow morning, sir. My Special Projects Unit is
No,
listening.
it's for the.
I'm serious. They will fix it before
But
tomorrow
serious,
morning.
it's for the other 1,000 drivers who pass there every day.
But we are going to be fixing that entire area.
Yes.
And pushing in a green park, well, a green space. You know, we have moved out all the trucks and all the junk and everything. The people must have their community to enjoy. And we be able to keep moving on it. So,
Congratulations, Honorable Great Bishop Juan Edgel,
Thank you,
Minister
sir.
of Public Works. Honorable members, let us invite the Honorable Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, the Honorable Keoma Griffith, and his staff of the Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning. Ministers, you're taking this by yourself, I see.
It's me alone.
Thank you very much. Honorable members?
My team is entering, sir. They're coming down. Just allowing the.
Honorable members, let us turn to pages 198 and 199.
Mr. Chair, just a few more of my technical officers are entering, sir.
Honorable members, we have to bear with our ministers and the staff because of the limited space. We have had to do a section outside with a television so that the other staff members who are waiting can follow the proceedings. My Paul, you're missing a few pages again? I think it was my Paul book and he switched it, you know. You have a few more staff coming, Minister?
We can proceed, Mr. Chair.
Proceed.
Yeah,
While we
the
wait,
others will follow. They won't
haven't been
necessarily.
able to see the Honorable, your Labor Occupation Safety and Health Officer Prandat since the passing of his nephew, family. The guy killed on the bridge with a cement truck. One of the relations is here with us. Okay, honorable members, I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 38, Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning, Program 381, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Dr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the Honorable Minister, line item 6116, contracted employees, has increased from 83 million, about 500,000, to 114,500,000. I have a two-part question. One, even if I add 8% to that, it takes me to 90 million. And then I have a difference of 24 million. But when I look down at line item 6116, the breakdown of the staff and details for contracted employees, it only increases by 1. Could the Honorable Minister say what is the salary and designation for that single contracted employee?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, honorable member, for the question. Under 6116, there are 4 persons who have been employed, which is the reason for the increase. We have employed 1 deputy permanent secretary who is acting in the role of permanent secretary, as well as 1 personal assistant, 1 public relations officer, and 1 system support officer.
Follow up, sir.
Go ahead, honorable member.
You're saying that you're increasing by 4 from 2025. If you look on the right side, it says you're only increasing by 1, 27 going to 28. If you look at the staff in detail, sir.
Sir, as I said, we've hired 4 persons, and that is the reason for the increase.
Respectfully, sir, so the record here is incorrect? Because it says 27, 2025, and 28, 2026, which is just 1. I'm okay if you say it's 4. We can move on.
Honorable Minister.
I can confirm that it's 4, sir.
So the record is wrong.
Well, he is going to confirm.
Okay.
My experience with the numbers here, the book tends to be accurate, and sometimes you do have changes. You may have 3 retire, so 4 hired, but the net effect is 1.
Sorry, which program are you looking at, Mr. Campbell?
6116.
In program 2 or
For policy development and administration.
81.
The very first program.
program 1?
Yes. Pages 198 and 199 is on the agenda and read out by the chairman.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead, honorable member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, sir. In relation to to those 4, I am wondering, sir, I know there's been a lot of talk about manpower planning and so on. And it was, I think, I noticed that there's 1 foreign country even offering to help. I am wondering if these contracted employees are involved in preparing a manpower plan for Guyana going forward, and if so, when we can expect that plan to be made public.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member, for the question. As was highlighted during the debates, Budget 2026 will see the establishment of a national manpower agency that will seek to look at all of the needs and an assessment of the labor market in an effort to meet all of the manpower needs of the labor force in Guyana. So that is certainly within the works. We'll see the rollout within this year's budget.
Follow up, sir.
Thank you, Minister. Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Very specifically, will there be a manpower plan? Will it be made public? And if so, when?
Minister?
There will be a gap analysis conducted to see what are the loopholes, the needs. Will it be made available? It's going to be a public document, so it will be made available, and it's going to be commenced within the period of 2026. That's as much as I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Nanbrani Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line item 6242, there is an almost triple increase in the maintenance of buildings. Can the minister please state the reason for that? Thanks.
Honorable Minister.
So there is the increase is due because of the remodeling of the minister's secretariat. And so, well, of course, this is all because of the direction in which the public service is going in relation to government efficiency and the digitization of the entire public service. There has been a necessity for certain remodeling to be done so that when members of the public visit the ministry, all of the digital platforms are rolled out so that they can have access to the minister and to the services of the ministry with comfort.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Sarabo Hali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, you would probably recall that we have an ongoing conversation with labor every year. I will continue.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was speaking with the chair, but yes, the question for the minister, you mentioned the labor market survey and finding the gaps. If I can recall, there was a consultant that was on board over the last 5 years that was supposed to be attempting to put this together and have a report in Parliament once he had completed. So I'm wondering if this, after having that consultant on board, I don't think the consultant is any longer with that ministry, if you're now restarting what was already done over the last 5 years, because you're saying you're now going to be doing the labor market survey and finding the gaps.
I can't speak to what the consultant has done. I have never met him, nor have I didn't have the opportunity of speaking with him or so. But I can only speak to what will be done with this new direction within which the ministry is going. And I can say that all of the necessary information will be garnered through the manpower skills gap that we will conduct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Member, Ms. Singh, you wanted to follow up?
No, Mr. Chair, I have a question on another line item.
Go ahead.
It's line item 6281, security. Mr. Chair, I'm seeing that figure has just about doubled. If the minister can kindly say why and which security services is being used by the ministry, please.
Sorry, I didn't hear the back end of the question.
I'm asking the reason for the almost double in the security charges and which security companies is the ministry using?
So we have 3 security companies that we have been using.
iSecure Security Services Inc., Queensway Security Services Inc., and Panther Security Services Inc. And the reason for the increase, we continue to expand the work within which we're doing and taking it into all of the regions. And so more facilities will require more security for the ministry.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Mr. Saiko Andrews.
No, Mr. Speaker, that was the question I had.
Honorable Member, I had Saiko and there was another microphone I saw on the APNU side, no? Honorable Member, Mr. Rabohali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I wanted to follow up to what you said initially. I understand that you're not aware of the consultant, but a lot of money was spent on what the consultant was doing. And they should at least be a report in the ministry to help you so that you're not reinventing the wheel. So you probably should look at that. But outside of that, I'm wondering, based on where the country is right now, I'm seeing here that on the volume 2, it has develop, implement, and disseminate labor policies. Based on where the country is going right now and the fact that we are how many years in oil and gas and all the other expansion that has been going on, whether or not and also with the BIT program, what is currently guiding the government as it relates to training to prepare persons for the work that would be required in public service and in the private sector?
So,
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member, for the question. This is exactly why the element of manpower planning has been created and added to the Ministry of Labor, specifically by His Excellency, so that with all of the transformation that Guyana is seeing, that we can properly place our people to be a part of the transformation. So far, we are guided by experience in terms of the programs we have offered, but we are also guided by the people. When we visit the communities and we consult with the people and we hear what their needs are and we engage in consultations with them, we're guided by the skills needs in the varying communities. And of course, it's also guided by the manifesto that we have and the promises that we made to the people.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that is some stated for Agency 38, Program 381. Current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 531. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 381, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 38, 381, capital, Agency 38, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn back to pages 200 and 201. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 382, Labor Administration Services Current Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, through you to the Honorable Minister. Line item, line item 6116, contracted employees, again, has a significant increase. And on the staffing details, we see that it's increased by 8. Can the minister give us a breakdown of the 8 contracted employees, their designations, please? And maybe salaries, if that's possible.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. The reason for the increase in the line is the employment of 8 occupational health, safety and health officers so that there can be a representation in all of the regions, and 1 labor officer, each at the salary of $161,902.
Thank you.
Member missing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line item 6321 on page 491, local sub-bench subsidies. Mr. Chair, I'm seeing last year 4 million was budgeted for National Advisory Council on Occupational Health and Safety, but that was not used. Can the minister, and I'm seeing another 4 million is budgeted this year again, can the minister please advise if that council is active?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question, Honorable Member. At this point in time, the council has not been reconstituted at this point in time.
Thank you, Minister.
Mr. Chair, follow up?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Do you have, Honorable Minister, any idea when that council might become active?
It's intended for it to be done within this period, within 2026.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Rupnarain. You finished, Honorable Member Missing? You have another question? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6322. I noticed that last year's budget was allocated 4 million. This year it's given a 350% increase. Can the Honorable Minister indicate what has contributed to that increase?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. This allocation goes specifically to the International Labor Organization, and the cost for the payment is as a request of the ILO, and so they would send to us the amount which we're required to pay. And so that is why there is that increase.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member Missing.
Thank you, Chairman.
Sorry, Mr. Pandey, Missing is on it.
Follow up on the line item about the National Advisory Council. Honorable Minister, if that council is not active, and I believe I heard you just mention that some occupational safety and health officers were hired, and if the council is not active, who is advising or guiding what is the work to be done on the occupational health and safety?
We have a consultant who works with the ministry. In fact, her experience in occupational health and safety carries the weight of in excess of 50 years. So she's most certainly qualified to advise us. Apart from this, we have a lot of capable and well-qualified persons in the department who are able to effectively carry out their duties as health and safety officers.
Mr. Chair, follow up.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, Minister, are you saying that since we have all of these capable persons in your ministry and you have the consultant, we do not need the service of the council?
That is certainly not what I said.
I understand. I'm asking if that.
But I didn't.
Mr. McCoy, please have some decorum. Thank you.
Honorable members, please, and Honorable Member Ms. Singh, I think you might be taking over some of my responsibilities.
Apologies, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair.
Honorable Minister, you finished?
I've finished with my response, sir.
I had the Honorable Member, Dr. Barker, and the Honorable Member, Mr. Pandey. Mr. Pandey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Um, 7 line item 6321. I noticed the budget of 2025 was 31 million. The LE was significantly reduced by $11 million. And then we replaced the 2026 again with 31 million as in 2025. Could an explanation be offered, please, by the Honorable Minister?
So, sorry, I didn't quite hear the question. Could you repeat the
Honorable Member
question?
Mr. Pandey, Honorable Member Mr. McCoy, we're trying to listen to the people asking questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Line item 6321. I'm saying that in 2025 you had budgeted $31 million. Your LE show a reduction of $11 million. And then you place back in 2026 $31 million as the budgeted figure. Could an explanation be offered, please?
Honorable Minister.
This is 6321, subsidies and contributions to local organizations. I'm sorry, I struggle to hear the question. You need to speak up a little. So I'm sorry.
I'm saying that in 2026 you budgeted $31 million. That figure is identical with your 2025 budget. But in your LE, you reduced by $11 million in 2025. So the
Yes.
variance, could it be explained, please?
This sum caters for subsidies and contributions given to trade unions. Of course, they are only given to the unions which have submitted their audits. And so if the unions have not submitted their audits, they are not in a position to receive the subsidies and the contributions.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. The Honorable Member, Ms. Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line item 6322 and on page 497. Honorable Minister, I've noticed in 2025, $4 million was budgeted for the ILO. That was not used, but in 2026, you have budgeted for 18 million, which is more than 3 times the amount. Can the minister explain why?
Yes.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, honorable member. Like I said just about 5 minutes ago, the sum requested by the ILO, we pay the sum as is requested by the ILO, taking, of course, into account all of the development and the transformation that Guyana has received. Of course, we are now removed from a certain category, and so the subsidy has increased. That is the reason for the increase in the subscription to the ILO.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Minister.
Honorable Member, Mr. Q's Sharma, Mr. Q's Sharma Solomon.
Just a follow-up, Mr. Chair, to the Minister. On the issue of the subsidies to these unions and what qualifies for the audit and the submission of the audit, can the Minister say which unions actually submitted their audits and received these subsidies?
Honorable Minister.
Yes, please, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, honorable member. The Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Unions submitted, and so they were in a position to receive the subsidy for 2025.
That's the only union.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, some further clarity on the 6116 contracted employees. I'm looking at the right one. Yes. Can the Honorable Minister state, because he stated the salary is 161,000 per month for each of the new staff. Is that the only salary, or will they be getting gratuities, any allowances along with that, and what that adds up to, please?
Yes, they will be getting gratuities and the other allowances.
Thank you, Minister.
Gratuities, vacation allowance, and the usual allowances.
Would you be able to say what what would be the total for one person?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Member, I don't have it at my disposal at this moment, but I'm happy to engage you on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, just a follow-up from the question that Honorable Sharma Solomon asked in terms of the union that submitted their audited financial statement and is in receipt of um, subsidies. Mr. Chairman, on page 490, there's a breakdown of 6321, and under agency 38, program 2, labor administration services, I'm not seeing GAU listed there. I'm seeing the federal FITUG, Guyana National Cooperative Union Limited, Guyana Trade Union Congress, National Advisory Council on Occupational Health and Safety, and the support to other trade unions. So may I ask the Honorable Minister, from this allocated sum, how much money is GAU getting?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. GAU received $2,251,690.
Sir, may I, as a follow-up, ask the
Go ahead.
Honorable Minister, why is GAU not listed in the book as a recipient of this money? Under the Labor Administration Service, which is where the fund is coming from.
Minister.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Mr. Chair. GAU falls within the category of other unions, sir. Other.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the sum total is $31 million. And the breakdown of the 500,000 to FITUG, the 18 million to Guyana National Cooperative Union Limited, the 500,000 to Guyana Trade Union Congress, 4 million to National Advisory Council on Occupational Health and Safety, and this is support to other trade unions too. So can the Honorable Minister tell us, out of this $8 million listed there, sir, other than GAU, what are the names of the other trade unions that are receiving subsidies from this line?
So the other unions would be the Guyana Public Service Union, GPSU, the Guyana Teachers Union, GTU, General Workers Union, the Clerical and Commercial Workers Union, National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees, Guyana Local Government Officers Union, National Union of Public Service Employees, Guyana Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union, People United and General Workers Union, Union of Allied and Agricultural Workers Union, Amalgamated Transport and General Workers Union, University of Guyana Workers Union, Guyana Bauxite and General Workers Union, University of Guyana Senior Staff Association, Guyana Labor Union, Printing Industrial and Allied Workers Union, National Mine Workers Union.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One follow-up, please. Can the Honorable Minister say what is the sum that goes to GTU and GPSU?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. The sum for GPSU is $1,297,297, and the sum for GTU?
GTU.
GTU, $1,297,297.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal. Honorable members, I can take one more question for the Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question. I'll have to put all the remaining heads as time is up. And I propose the question that the sum stated for programs 382, labor, current and capital.
Mr. Speaker, could we get one question of program 3? Is that possible?
One question where?
Program 3.
Program 383.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
sir.
let me put 382 first.
Okay, thank you.
And I put the question that the sums stated for Program 382, current and capital, stand part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Accommodating, I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 383, manpower planning, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Ms. Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the accommodation, sir. If the minister could turn his attention to volume two, page 174. Volume two, page 174. We're seeing here that the number of persons, as an indicator, the number of persons registered, unemployed persons seeking employment. In 2025, it was 3,557, and the target for 2026 is 5,000. Now, looking against the most recent labor force survey available to us, I we would note that persons employed in the country right now with a master's degree is 0.8%, and persons employed, the largest proportion of persons employed is persons employed with a primary education at 42.3%. Could the minister say what is being done through his ministry in addition to the persons, and I want to note that the BIT training program, they have a number here of males, 1,645, and females, 1,942. In addition to that, because with all of that, we're still at some very startling percentages. 42.3% of the employed population only have a primary education. What is the minister looking at to advance the number of trained persons we have employed in this country?
Honorable Minister.
Well, of course, there are a number of facilities being offered by the government of Guyana to educate and to upskill persons. This government continues to build the system and the infrastructure to ensure that every person all over Guyana, that they have access to world-class education at every level. As it pertains to the Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning, we have sought to decentralize all of the training available. And there is also the Central Recruitment Agency of the ministry that seeks to ensure that we allow persons to get decent employment. And so we will just continue to train and decentralize our training.
Mr. Chair, is it possible to accommodate one very quick
No,
question?
because right now we are going
worries,
into,
no worries.
yes. Honorable members, I now have to put the two remaining heads, and those are Agency 38, Program 383, current and capital. And I put the question that the sums stated herein stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you very much, Minister Griffith, Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, and his staff for taking us through your agency. And let us invite the
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Minister of Human Services and Social Security to join us. I sent you, Anil will come tomorrow. Whoever wants to be here. And staff who come. You come on, I sent you a copy. Let me do Honorable members, just one announcement. We are arranging with the digital ID people to set up a station here from 1 o'clock tomorrow, and it will be until the end of Friday. It's all voluntary. Who? It's not the Prime Minister doesn't even know I'm doing that right now. Uh, we're going to be circulating the document on what documentation needs to be produced, Honorable Prime Minister, so that whoever, be it our staff, MPs, the minister's staff, whoever is here, can, and they have their relevant documents, they can register for the digital ID. It will be from 1 tomorrow until we complete the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 208 and 209. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 391 current, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Natasha Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Policy and Administration. Mr. Chair, 1 year ago, the ministry was looking at the revision of the Poor Relief Act. This legislation guides public assistance, and it is very important. My question is, what stage of completion is this revision?
Mr. Chair, thank you for your question, Honorable Member. That is in a draft stage. It has gone through several iterations.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Dr. Professor Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, on the line item 6302, there is a substantial increase this year. I would like to ask, in terms of scholarships, why the increase in spending on this item? And in terms of scholarships, how many scholarships would you be offering this year, and in what areas?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you for the question. We believe at the Ministry of Human Services that we must invest in our staff, capacity building, and we must be able to not only invest in our staff training capacity, but we must do the kind of training that is beneficial to their everyday work and also what we want to have happen in terms of service delivery. So there are a number of areas that we plan to be training in, notably team building and change management, because if you want to move into a digital realm, which is where the ministry is going, especially in the delivery of key service areas, we must have management of change to transition into that realm. We also look at team building because you want the team to be able to communicate effectively and you want them to be able to produce the necessary outcomes. We're also looking at other areas delivering constructive criticism. So if there is management and leadership, how can you work with your team members to be able to not criticize, but to do it in a manner that motivates? There is also coaching and mentoring. For the same reason we're doing that, we're also looking at business ethics, emotional intelligence at work, and a very important thing called stress management, conflict resolution, creative problem solving, and orientation. When we bring new staff on board, we want to make sure they understand not only their department necessarily, but generally how the ministry functions and what it is that we offer. We will be offering a number of training sessions, or if you want to call them scholarships, the training sessions to staff collectively and individually based on these areas.
Thanks,
Thank
Minister.
you.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 391 current stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 532. Honorable members, I now propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 391, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 39, 391 that is, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Pages 210 and 211. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 392, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Natasha Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line item 6242. Budget 2025, we saw $47 million, and it was revised to $25 million in 2025. The minister is asking us again for another $47 million. Could the minister tell us what are the buildings she intends to maintain under this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we are looking at several buildings that fall under the ministry, notably the one at Cornhill and Water Streets. That's where we have one of the main buildings that would provide services to persons, notably pensioners, persons with disabilities. It's a very old building, and there are a number of repairs that have to be done, such as repairs to the ceiling and roof, wallboards, and repainting, because we have leakages in some parts of the building. It's very, very old, as you know. And the wiring of the building is also ancient. So we are looking at repairs to electrical switches, outlets. We've also expanded some of the units in the building. We are putting in 2 new units, one for persons who are senior citizens specifically, and one for persons who live with disabilities specifically. So we are repairing those spaces to convert them into spaces that can happen. Also looking at the working conditions of staff, so looking at the toilets and pipes. Again, this is a very challenging issue. So we're looking at that, replacement of damaged windows and doors. And that's just one building. But a lot of work will be done on the Palms Geriatric Home. As last year, we spent a significant amount of money there, and the Palms is 150 years old this year. So it's a very, very old building, and it constantly requires work, constantly. And so we're looking at washrooms, damaged floor tiles, pipes and plumbing works in several of the blocks. We're looking at damaged windows and doors. And here again, because of the age of the building, being a very, very old building that predates all of us in here, perhaps collectively on some parts, we have very old wiring to the building, and so we have to redo all of that defective or unsafe electrical issues that we have there. We're also looking at the kitchen at the Palms and doing plumbing, carpentry, electrical works there. Repairs to wall boards, doors, windows, and we're doing this in several areas of the Palms. The night shelter is another one of the buildings that we will be looking at. The night shelter in 2020 was very, very deplorable in its condition, and from 2020 to 2025, we've done significant work to improve the night shelter because we can't keep people who are indigent or homeless in conditions that are not suitable. So we will continue to do work on the night shelter. We have invested in improving overall, but we're looking at ceilings, walls, flooring, repairs to wiring, switches, outlets, washrooms, sinks. And then I moved to the Guyana Women's Leadership Institute, again, another old but beautiful building. From 2020 to 2025, significant restoration would have been done there. And there is still more to be done because, again, of the age of the building. So while we are modernizing some aspects, we want to preserve other aspects of the building. And maintenance will include repairs and repainting to walls, ceilings, stairs, flooring, internal and external repairs, renovation of rooms. We're putting in a garment lab there. So we are also modernizing and preparing some of the rooms that exist already, fixing some of the spaces that we have already, and the training hall as well. Again, we would have assessed the electrical capability of the building or electrical capacity of the building. And so there will be repairs to wiring, switches and outlets, washrooms, pipes, sinks. And then we go outwards because we have a number of offices and other buildings. We have the probation office and more. So again, we are looking at repairs to wiring, switches, outlets, washrooms, pipes, sinks. Mahika Hospital compound is also receiving significant attention. Here again, we look at repairs and repainting to damaged flooring, walls. As much as we can, Ganesh, as much as we can. Repairs to doors, door locks, windows, repairs to wiring, switches, outlet. We have the Mahika Hospital compound that we have residential facilities. There is also the Hope and Justice Center Region 4. Again, whatever repairs are needed there. We also have the Hugo Chavez Center for Rehab and Reintegration. Here again, continuous repairs to any areas. There's quite a lot. If you want me to read out, I can. Read it out? No?
No, it's
oh,
okay.
okay.
I just wanted to...
Yes. And we have, all the different parts of that. We also have the Fort Wellington Probation Office. Here again, repairs to that office to make sure it's comfortable for staff and clients who go there. The Probation Office, Region 6, WIM, same thing. All these are buildings that have been there for a long time, so it's just continually working on them. The DV Shelter, the Riverton Office, the Probation Office in Region 2, Anna Regina, more shelters, TIP DV, Probation Office, Region 3, and Hope and Justice Center, Region 3. That sums it up, Honorable Member and Mr. Chair, of why the increase that we would have requested.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Could you tell us specifically what amount would be dedicated to the repairs at the Palms?
From the previous year, we would have spent maintenance and capital a total of $91 million. And so this year, this is both maintenance and
91,
right? So from the previous years, right? So we're looking at $18 million for this year.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell. If you give, you mightn't get a chance back. Honorable Member, Ms. Dr. David Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Um, Madam Minister, thank you for your answers. Can you disaggregate the sum there for old age pension and social assistance?
Which line item, sir?
6343, sorry.
Why do you have to decide?
72 billion, I think, there, if you can disaggregate.
So old age pension is not just the pension that we, under this line, that we pay out to the pensioners. It involves other beneficiaries as well, such as public assistance and permanent disability, because it says pension and social assistance. So it's everybody. $52 billion, 440 million, and that is old age pensions. Public assistance, $5.7 billion. Permanent disability, $8.2 billion. We also have the newborn cash grant. Last year, we were able to support 13,000 mothers. So this is $1.3 billion. And we have the new transportation subsidy that will be distributed. That is $1.9 billion. And we also have the electricity subsidy. So it adds up for pensioners. Pension, transportation, plus electricity and water. So electricity is $942 million and $942.4 million, and water subsidy $298.2 million, giving us a total of $72,391,117,908.
All right, thank you, Honorable Minister. Excuse me.
Follow up.
Go ahead, Honorable Minister.
Yeah. Madam Minister, is there anywhere in there sums to deal with the growing problem of street dwellers?
Mr. Chair, that's not the line for this.
That's not the line. Thank you. Not the line. Honorable Member?
Okay.
Ms. Natasha Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, under a follow-up, 6343, could the Honorable Minister say to us, from the $58.374 million, how many old age pensioners benefit from this?
This is the previous year, Honorable Member?
From the 72, how many will benefit?
Okay. We are looking, Mr. Chair, at 95,000 pensioners.
Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flu Bess.
Thank you. Comma Chair, I'd like to turn the Minister's attention to Volume 2, the indicators. I note that there's the strategies, and I see strategy number 2 is the develop national policy on aging. My question is there any ongoing work on this policy?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, we have started discussions and consultations as of late last year, and this year we are going to intensify that.
Thank you. My second question.
Go ahead.
Second question, indicator number 6. Number of youths in conflict with the law accessing rehabilitation programs. What type of...
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Number 6, the indicator. Number of youths in conflict with the law accessing rehabilitation. I don't know why my mic keeps going out. The question is, what type or form of rehabilitation programs can be accessed by youths?
Thank you, Honorable Member. A lot of them, actually. One of the most important ones was one that we would have started more than 2.5, going almost to 3 years in a major way, and we would have benefited from funding through USAID. This is the FES initiative. There's a Family Enhancement Services unit that is based at the Palms, and we have managed to decentralize quite a bit of that, and we're hoping to fully decentralize that over maybe 2 years, 2 to 3 years, where young people who are at risk. They may have challenges, they may have difficulties of some sort, and they may be brought to us either by their parents, caregivers, or directly referred to us by schools. And we have been able to work with them through a YSET test where we assess the family and the circumstances and the triggers responsible for the young person's behavior. And we have over the years worked with a number of these young people, hundreds of them actually, not just the young person, but also the families, in an effort to have stable families. It's a long process. It involves counseling, it involves working with their ecosystem, and it involves follow-up as well. And through this program, we are also able to work with them on several fronts, things like anger management, looking at what their triggers are to cause behavioral patterns, even exploring if there may be cases of abuse there that previously we were not told or they did not report. And coming out of that whole initiative, there are the youth-friendly spaces that we would have set up. We've set up 5 so far. We're looking to set up 5 more this year. And through those youth-friendly spaces, even if young people are not directly referred to us through the Family Enhancement Services unit, they might come to these community centers, and there at those community centers, we have peer educators and we have staff who are trained from the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security to provide anything from homework to opportunities for recreation, social engagement, digital literacy, counseling, healthy activities, healthy and positive activities. In addition to that, the Ministry of Human Services also has its probation unit that works with young people who have already been in conflict with the law. And here again, they go through intensive counseling, rehabilitation. Outside of that, we have coordinated programs where several departments and agencies work together. We have the Child Protection Agency, even though not captured in Program 2, coordinating its effort with the Family Enhancement Services Unit, the Gender Affairs Bureau, and the Sexual Offenses Domestic Violence Policy Unit. And we have managed to go into schools. Every year, we are able to go into over 120 schools. This year, we are going into 125 schools, and this is a coordinated approach tackling serious issues like bullying, violence, and also looking at behavioral pattern for young people through awareness, through workshops. But you will appreciate, even though all of this is being done, it has to be consistent, which we are, and it has to be continuous, which we're doing, because to affect the kind of positive behavioral change that you want, we need to constantly engage with these young people. So we're looking at a number of creative ways to do that. We also have the Young Influencers program, which was started by me in 2021. And these are young people from all the regions of Guyana. And through them, we worked on the anti-bullying policy. And we're also working with them on a number of areas affecting young people. So the work we do through this indicator where you're seeing all of these numbers and you're seeing this jump, it is because we are not concentrating only in Region 4. This is work that is done across all the regions of Guyana. Thank you for your question, Honorable Member.
Honorable Member, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, I have 2 questions. I want to come back to 6343 to ask the Minister how many persons will benefit from public assistance under this line.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. So we have public assistance benefiting the number of persons, 19,000 persons.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, Mr. Pandey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the Honorable Minister, and I'm subject to correction, but I heard you did say, Honorable Minister, that the PALMs over the recent year and for this year, the expenditure would be somewhere in the vicinity of about $109 million.
Say again?
The expenditure would be somewhere in the vicinity of $109 million.
For the pounds?
91 plus 18 million for this year.
No, no, that was over the last 5 years. I gave that figure.
Yes, for the past 5
Over
years.
the last 5 years.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm suggesting that given the vast amount of money spent, and perhaps prior to the past 5 years, and maybe in years to come also, wouldn't it be worthy to really construct a brand new building, given two reasons. One, unfortunately, the kind of persons we have within that building. And two, 150 years old would not have had in its entirety modern facilities that befits the kind of people making use of the facility. So I thought of asking whether that's in the pipeline.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for your question. I was going to wait until I got to Capitol, but you will be happy to know that we are constructing a brand new senior citizens home. And that home will have the modern amenities and facilities. We already have a design for it. And further to that, we are looking at a very, very progressive, innovative, creative way of addressing senior citizens across the country. I'm sure everyone would have heard His Excellency speak of the care economy. So we are looking at how can we provide community and home-based care for elders and children. So in the communities, we are going to be working through the co-invest model and equip persons with the necessary wherewithal to have in the community some of these smaller facilities doing several things, providing care, providing employment, and giving entrepreneurship opportunities. In addition to that, we have already laid the groundwork because we have already trained a number of persons, in fact, hundreds of persons in elder and patient care through the Women's Innovation Investment Network. And so this will feed into that program. But yes, in short, a new building is on its way.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Minister, 6321 line item, subsidy and contributions to local organizations. If you may, can you tell us what's the criteria for those contributions?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. These are organizations and institutions that focus on a series of things. People who are homeless, the elders, and also social services provision by NGOs, non-state-owned organizations. So the criteria would be what are the services they are providing and what is their reach and their capacity in terms of providing those services, and also that they are established, registered, and capable of, in short, there is a whole document on it. In short, so to tell you like who we are talking about, Friends of the Archer Home, Dharmshala, Good Samaritan Home, Guyana Association of Women's Lawyers, Guyana Legal Aid Clinic. And this has been an initiative that was started years ago by the PPPC government, and we continue to do this because we are providing subsidized legal services to people who can't afford the legal costs that are out there. So this has been expanded into other regions. We also provide to the Guyana Society for the Blind, and we also provide to Help and Shelter, because this is an NGO that we want to assist because they provide spaces when we need to refer, or also if people go directly to them. There's also the Linden Legal Aid Clinic that was subsequent to the initial legal aid clinic. Then there are statutory bodies like the National Commission on the Elderly and the National Commission on the Family. We also provide to women organization, the National Congress for Women, the Red Thread, Regional Women's Affairs Committees, Salvation Army Women's Home, St. Vincent de Paul Homestead, Together in Peace Home, Women's Progressive Organization, and Guyana Association of Professional Social Workers would be the newest addition.
And Madam Minister, Mr. Chair, if I may follow up.
Go ahead.
You did mention homelessness is one of the criteria for the organizations that get these contributions. Apart from giving money to organizations, what other plans do your ministry have for tackling homelessness?
So, Mr. Chair, it's really not all of this, but I'll answer.
Go ahead.
So we have
I
been
know.
directly tackling the homelessness situation. We have the night shelter. From when I came to now, we have been in double figures. When I came in 2020, we had less than 50 people at the night shelter, less than 50. 34, Ms. Birsami is correcting me, 34 persons at the night shelter. We have increased the number significantly at the night shelter to 110, and we have capacity for more than that, at least closer to 200 persons, because we have expanded the facilities to cater for that. More beds, more expanded, not just expansion, the quality of care and the quantity of care is more. So we have teams that leave the night shelter and they go out there, they look for persons on the street, they pick them up, they bring them back, they give them a bath, they have meals, they have a bed, but there's so much more than that. There is a collaboration with the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation where they have eye care, they have everything from looking at their status when it comes to tuberculosis, pneumonia, all the communicable diseases. We also work with them at the mental health unit on mental health. So they have regular clinics. We have had some very successful surgeries where persons had cataracts, person had a number of tumors, you name it. If you saw the people, when we saw them when they came in, when the people at the night shelter saw them when they came into where they are now, and you would be amazed. And I always enjoy the annual Christmas party because that's where you see the other side of these people, their talent, how they've moved, and they share their journey with you. So it's a program that has been new in the last 5 years in terms of actually going out there with a designated task force. But you will agree with me that it is not prison. So some people do go out back. We try to get them back. But by and large, we've been able to keep more and more persons there at the night shelter. Those who are younger or need drug rehab, we also try to work with them through programs so that they can go out and work, and we try to get them out there as well.
Yeah, Mr. Chief,
go ahead.
If the minister may indulge me for this last question. In terms of the legislation, I know this is has been an issue that has come up before, but do you plan to pursue legislation, to amend the legislation to make it possible for things like mandatory confinement, treatment, rehabilitation, so that these people can come back into the normal life in this society? Yeah, go ahead.
So, honorable member, what you're asking cross-cuts across sectors.
Yes,
you have
yes.
Ministry of Human Services, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Home Affairs, and Ghana Police Force, because the current legislation is archaic. It's from the early 1900s, and the language in there is also very archaic. It speaks to lunatics and asylum, and so we have had a lot of conversations, some amount of consultation, and we will be continuing along that vein because we don't need, and as you know, under this government, we've been modernizing a lot of the legislation. We've been advancing new pieces of legislation. So over time, this is one that should be up for that kind of consultation and discussion. But you will agree with me, it's cross-cutting.
Yes, and thank you very much for your patience.
No problem.
Honorable member, Ms. Cuse, Mr. Cuse, Sharon Sullivan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just to the minister, under the 6343 and public assistance, I know the RDC and through the chair, we had some concerns of the board. I would just like to know the amount that for Region 10 that we had appropriated or in fact used last year, and if there is a certain amount this year for Region 10, more so with those concerns expressed of discrimination of those who were to be identified by the board, accusations that is. Thank you very much, Minister.
Mr. Chair, this is a line item that does not speak to what you are saying. However, I will tell you, they are board members who are mandated by the local Board of Guardians policy document to discharge their duties in accordance with that policy and the legislation. We've always constituted these boards with civil society, and I believe in civil society. I believe in their ability to discharge their duties responsibly, as would the members of the board in Region 10 be doing. So we usually constitute any board representing across any region a number of districts and communities, and we have not shied away from that practice in the constitution of this board.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Manzo Walton Desir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A follow on from the question that Honorable Member Hines asked. You referenced the working relationship with the hospital, etc. Recently, I've noticed on social media and in the newspapers a number of ads calling for the families of people who've been abandoned in the hospital. I'm just curious as to what role does the ministry play in that regard? Are they left there, or is there some point after some time that you step in and take over?
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Go ahead, Minister.
Yes, in fact, we've been stepping in for all of the years. But while we have been stepping in, and we have stepped in at various times when those calls were made, I've actually had a sit down with the GPHC team, and we have discussed this. But what we find very disturbing is the fact that people leave their loved ones at the hospital, and we try as much as possible, either with the ministry directly or the hospital has been trying in the way they've been doing to reintegrate people back with their families, because we believe that once someone is with their family, it's better than being institutionalized. In fact, that's a global practice, not to institutionalize people if you can avoid it. And, you know, I've always gone out there myself on the ground and appealed to people to not abandon their parents and their grandparents, because they've given their best years to this country. They have also contributed to their children and their families, and there must be some level of responsibility. And while I say that, as the Ministry of Human Services, we have never shirked from our responsibility once we have the space and the capacity to accommodate these persons. But again, it is very, very important that people go back and look for their family members, because sometimes the work you have to do when you take these persons in psychosocial work, you have to deal with them psychologically. There's counseling, there's trauma. And I sit and I speak to people from the night shelter, and I will ask who comes to visit you, or I'll ask Miss Vera Sami herself, you know, and we would talk to them, and people look forward to their families coming to see them and visit them and actually take care of them. And there are lots of tears, and the staff members at the night shelter, for example, will see a lot of that, and we'll have to deal with that.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Lewis. Sorry, Ms. Singh.
Mr. Chair, I have two questions. Can I ask them together or one after the other?
You can.
Okay. So, Minister, I would like to know how many persons will benefit from the disability assistance?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. 27,359.
Thank you, Minister.
Same line item, 6343. I know that the Ghana Police Force, SOCU, was called in to investigate the pension and public assistance here. Could you give us an update on that investigation?
So,
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Member, this was an investigation called by me
Yes.
and the permanent secretary when it was discovered that we had books that were not authentic. And I believe in ensuring that there's transparency and accountability at all times. We not only had the Ghana Police Force involved, we had the Auditor General's office. I have that report, but I'm still awaiting the final report from the Ghana Police Force.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank you,
Speaker.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, 6292. In 2025, the approved allocation for that's dietary. Approved allocation for residential care homes was $155 million. However, the revised sum showed $228.64 million, an increase of $73.64 million to support 359 residents across all homes. As reflected in Volume 2, Mr. Chair, despite this clear insufficiency in 2025 based on the difference, the same $155 million being allocated again in 2026, and we saw in the estimates that there's a projection of catering for 21 additional persons in state care. Could the Honorable Minister give us a breakdown of this 155 per care facility?
Honorable Minister.
Sure, Honorable Member. So we are changing something, and this is at the night shelter. We have built a kitchen, which will be completed, so we'll be cooking meals there, which is different. And so the Palms, we would have $57.2 million. Mahika Hospital, $7.3 million. Night shelter, $41.7 million. So we're not required to purchase meals. We are actually cooking on site. Hugo Chavez Rehab and Reintegration Center, $36.5 million. And our shelters, we have 4 shelters for DV. And I will not, for you know the reasons why I say where they are, but I'll tell you 1.8, 1.8, 1.4, 1.1. And we have tip shelters, 2.9, 1.4, 1.4.
Thank
4
you.
days.
Mr. Chair?
Honorable members.
A follow-up.
Go ahead.
A follow-up on that same line item. Minister, I have noticed in the public domain, I like that you say that at the night shelter you will now start to cook because the kitchen is completed. But we have been cooking at the Palms all the time. And we have seen in the public domain the substandard food that is being given to our elderly. What systems are you putting in place to correct that in 2026?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. I will say to you, the government has invested significantly, $53 million in food for the Palms. What we have done, something I started, is make sure that every day the meals are sent to me, the photos of the meals are sent to me so I know. There is also direct supervision by one of the members of staff, a senior member of staff, who will be going from morning to night to the Palms to check on everything that happens in the kitchen, including meals. We're also bringing a nutritionist on board through a collaborative effort. We're also looking at the health needs of the persons who are resident at the Palms. We're also having more stringent controls when it comes to accountability of the items that have been delivered, because the items have been delivered to the Palms.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that is sum stated for Agency 39, Program 392, current expenditure. Stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us go to page 532. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 392, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Um, Mr. Chair, there has been um, a project that has started in 2024. The Honorable Minister, in answering Mr. Pandey, spoke about the care facility at Enmore. And we have allocated significant amount of money to that project. That project should be completed next year. Um, could you give us an update on the current works of the care facility at Enmore? Enmore, the one at
So,
Enmore.
that is the elderly facility. So
Yes.
we have had the indication of the land. We have also done the design work. We have also been looking at where we need to go with the BOQ. So we are looking at next year for completion, as you said.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you to the Honorable Minister. In project code 1220200 buildings. Surprisingly, I will say this figure looks most inadequate. And I'm wondering if the Honorable Minister has taken, in my short time in politics, I've come across situations, for example, the Alboystown fire, where there were difficulties finding proper shelter for those who had suffered in that fire. I'm wondering, I know you've spoken about additional elder care facilities, and I know that you have spoken about the homeless and taking them in at nights. Though I see a lot of them on the seawall when I walk in the morning, so there's some more work that can be done there. But I'm thinking about specifically here now when there is a fire that maybe affects more than one building. And sometimes when the Honorable Colin Crowell needs to move some squatters and we need temporary accommodation for them, they have been given land somewhere else and the land may not have all the infrastructure in place. Whether you would have given consideration, if not now and perhaps going forward, into some shelter facilities of an acceptable standard for those circumstances.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, I'm a little confused because I am not quite sure what the member is referring to because he didn't identify, and we have lots of facilities here. So if the member can clarify what specifically he's referring to so that I can respond.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It has been my experience dealing with those situations that folks.
Honorable Member, my apologies, but which line item are you referring to? And what specific building are you referring to under the line item so that I can be so guided to respond to you?
So the line item is 1220200.
Right.
I do not know specifically what it says buildings, if I can go back to it.
If you look at your budget books, they tell you which one.
One second. I did look at it. Mr. Chair, you can move on and then I'll come back to that one, please.
Honorable Member, Ms. Lewis. Sorry, Ms. Singh.
Mr. Chair, let's go back to 6321 subsidies. Mr. Chair, I noticed that
6321.
Subsidies.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Member, Mr. Chair, we've gone past that. It's been.
She apologized.
Okay.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 392 Capital, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to pages 212 and 230. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 393, Child Care and Protection current expenditure stands part of the estimates.
Mr. Chair?
Honorable Member, Ms. Singh.
Mr. Chair, 6321, subsidies and contribution to local organization. And just to be sure, we are on current expenditure for program.
Page 213.
Okay, good. And so I am at 492, page 492 of the volume 1. I noticed that ChildLink Inc. and Blossom Inc. have received last year 51.699 million. That is, ChildLink is going to receive the same amount this year. Last year, they have received 72, Blossom Inc. received 72.269 million, and Blossom Inc. will receive the same amount this year. With the significant increase in child abuse cases, what is the role and function of these two organizations?
Thank you, Honorable Member. And I want to say that there has actually been a reduction in cases, but there was an intention to intensify our trauma-focused counseling sessions, hence the increase to those two entities. And it was a significant increase to both entities because they provide several services to us, notably trauma-focused counseling. We need to have at least 16 sessions per child if we want to make any impact on that child's life, because many of them come with significant trauma, and the level of trauma will also mean sometimes more counseling sessions. They also do a forensic interview, and that is when there are cases of children who have experienced trauma, mostly abuse, and we have to provide a forensic statement to the DPP. We have to do a forensic interview for every child. We have expanded the ambit of what we mean by every child. We don't only do it for cases of a sexual nature, we also do cases of physical abuse, so we've expanded that. And so they have been tasked in doing that, and you're probably wondering why no more? Because the state is now going to set up its own forensic interview unit, and we are having 4 mobile units. And this is a first for Guyana. It's a very big deal for Guyana, actually, because for the first time, we were able to do forensic interviews in-house, where we can tackle the backlog and where we can have a number of interviews done in a timely manner, because we don't want children to be repeating their statements over and over. That's the purpose of a forensic interview. It's done in a very safe environment, a very closed environment, and they only give their statements once. They may be asked for further statement by the DPP. In that case, we accede. So the intention is to build out our capacity to cater for what's happening.
Follow up, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
How many regions Blossom Inc. and Child Care Inc. operated?
They operate in all the regions, but they don't each have a place in all. Collectively, it's 1 to 10. They're called the Child Advocacy Centers.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Minister.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 393, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, page 532. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 39, Program 393, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Ms. Singh.
Mr. Chair, I don't have any questions.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 393 Capital stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, this concludes our consideration for Agency 39. And let us thank the Minister and her staff for taking us through our agency. We now have 7 minutes saved, which is carried forward. This is a good time to take the suspension.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to
For
all the
1 hour.
members of my team.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, and for the questions. Thank you.